Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Dr. Missick, and guess what time it is? It's time to vote. And we need you to go out there and vote. And it's important. We have to remove Ernest Bales from office. He is responsible for what's been going on here the past 8 years, and he's not being honest about it, but he has been a big player, a major player in Colony Ridge becoming the problem that it is today. And he needs to be held accountable. It's either by design, which is harming our community, or it's by negligence and incompetence. Either way, Ernest Bales needs to go. I'm running. I'm a good candidate. I want to tell you why I'm the best candidate. First off, HD 18. I know the entire district. I've been over all this entire district. From one end to the other, I have old friends up in Kuntz and friends from high school in Dayton. And I went to school, to college at Sam Houston State University, so that area as well, outside of Oakhurst. This is my home, and I've lived here for decades, and I know the whole area, and I care about everybody in this community. But the fact of the matter is that the number one pressing issue that we have in this House district, and especially facing Liberty and San Jacinto County, is Colony Ridge. And I've been tracking Colony Ridge from its beginning. I've heard about what's going on over there. And I've been in Colony Ridge looking and seeing this horrific situation for myself. I went over there. Well, first I've been tracking it, but I used to live in Plum Grove Road. But as far as going into that settlement, I went there several times when I was campaigning in 2022, and I've been there several times during this campaign as well. So it's important for us to address this issue. I'm a local. I've been following the issue. I know what's going on. I'm not a Johnny-come-lately. Ernest Bales, he's instrumental. He created legislation. He co-wrote it with John and Trey Harris, HB 4341, which enabled Colony Ridge to become the problem and the horror that it is today. He wrote that legislation. He's admitted it, that he wrote it with input from, actually, Trey Harris says, here's what I want you to do. This is the legislation. And Ernest Bales just went through and made minor changes to it. So he brought this on us, and he's not honest about it. So Colony Ridge is the issue that I've been tracking, and I'm the most equipped to tackle it. It's in my backyard. It's just a few miles from my church, and I will take on Colony Ridge. Like I said, this is something I've been confronting for a long time. The other issue, looking at Ernest Bales, is this is a Republican primary. We need a Republican candidate. And I want to recommend you, the undecided voter out there, to watch the debates. I feel like I did well in the debates, but the point is you can hear and see Ernest Bales, Janice Holt, and me making our case. And we see that part of the problem with Ernest Bales is political corruption and his association with Dade Phelan. And look at his voting record. He's a liberal. That's not according to me. That's not according to other campaigns or special interest groups or conservative think tanks. That's his voting record. Rice University Analytics, they put it in their computer, and looking at his voting record, they determine he's a liberal. He claims he's a conservative Republican, but he's not. And we need somebody that's genuine, and that's me, a true believer in America and in conservatism. And also, I think that something as important as my military service. I've served the military for 30 years, and I have 2 deployments to Iraq, and I spent 4 years on the border mission. And apparently I've been performing better than people expected me to. And it's interesting. It looks like Janice Holt has suddenly started campaigning against me because what are my big assets? One of them is the border. I know the border. I know the border very well. And once you get one powerful endorsement, they make phone calls and they're giving Janice all the endorsements that she could want from the political establishment. And that's another asset I have. Number one, military experience. Number 2, experience on the border. Our most pressing issue is the border. That's what polls say, and Americans are right. We have to secure our border and have immigration law enforcement. And I know the border very well because I worked on the border for 4 years. And then we have the issue with the political establishment. I'm not part of the political establishment. I'm an outsider. And actually, honestly, when you see Janice Holt getting all these endorsements, and good for her, but I look at it, it's like, why aren't they endorsing me? Why? Because I can't be controlled by those people. I'm going to answer to God, to my values, my beliefs, and to my constituents. And I don't care about the political establishment, or you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours time. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in being a servant of the people. So it could actually be a benefit that I don't have endorsements. And honestly, I'm glad that Greg Abbott defeated Beto, but he's not been the innovative and decisive leader that we need. And he's been still weak on the border. We could do a lot more in the state of Texas. We have passed good legislation, but the governor has the authority. He has not declared an invasion. He's claimed he has, but he has not. Once you formally declare an invasion, this sets into process certain things that you can do, such as securing the border and with the National Guard, and apprehending, detaining, and repelling foreign invaders. And Governor Abbott hasn't done that. He hasn't had the strength and the courage to do that yet. And we need leadership. We need real leadership on the border. And also, about Greg Abbott, he has the authority to do more about Colony Ridge. He has the enforcement powers to bring them into compliance with the law. And he hasn't taken that authority. Instead, he's taken donations from John and Trey Harris. And that disturbs me. We have to have someone with integrity that's going to stand up and fight for the people and fight for our community and its best interests and root out corruption. So I'm the best candidate out there. Also on pro-life issues, Ernest Bales does support abortion in certain instances. Janice Holt says she supports abortion to save the life of the mother, but I'm 100% pro-life. And I talk about this in other videos, and I've also been a pro-life activist. Educational reform. I'm for educational reform. I'm for homeschooling, and I think we should have school choice. Also, I want to be honest and have integrity, and a lot of things that Ernest Bales is saying about his own record, and he's distorting and lying about Janice Holt's positions on certain things. Let's remember a couple of things about Ernest Bales. Remember that he's not a true conservative, he's not a true Republican, that he attended a left-wing teachers union's Flip Texas Blue rally, and he came in a purple shirt showing his commitment to transition Texas from red to purple to blue. And no one made him do that. He's responsible for his own actions. He chose to do that. He chose to stand with the movement to flip Texas blue. The other thing is, in 2018, he had ran, saying he's a conservative Republican, but it turned out that he's voting as a liberal in Austin. So Emily Kibidoo Cook was appalled by Ernest Bales' pro-abortion and left-wing voting record. She decided to oppose him and run for Texas state representative. She came very close to winning, but still he won, unfortunately. But when he was debating her, he calls her a prostitute in the midst of a debate. That's crude, it's uncouth, it's ungentlemanly, and it's unacceptable. And just recently, he sent out this flyer against Holt with an unflattering picture and personal information that she did not want to give out to the public. He doxed her with her personal cell phone number so that people could harass. This is a call for people to harass Janice Holt. For what? For running against him? For holding him accountable for his voting record? That, to me, is disgusting. He treats women in a demeaning and a disrespectful manner, and this is an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment to our House district and to our counties, and we deserve better. We need better. So I want to appeal to you. Vote. You need to, as a Republican voter, as a conservative voter, you have to vote against Ernest Bales. I believe I'm the best choice. I'm not wealthy. I don't have all these wealthy donors. I'm not beholden to special interest groups and lobbyists. I fear the Lord, and I want to do what's right in the eyes of God, and I want to champion the interests of these people, and I want to close down Colony Ridge, and I want to advance conservatism and the Republican Party. I want to be a servant of the people. It's not about me. It's not about ambition. It's about service. And think about what Ernest Bales has done. He's lying about me right now. He's claiming I'm vandalizing all of his signs, while in reality, people associated with his campaign have stolen or destroyed or vandalized dozens of my signs, and I didn't complain about it. And here we have Ernest Bales crying and whining about the things that his people have done to me. It's not right to vandalize people's property or steal or destroy it, but he's done it to me, or his people have, in 2022, and now again in 2024. And I'm sorry that his signs are getting vandalized. I'm not doing it. And what about me and my signs that so many have been destroyed and stolen? A lot, dozens of them. So it's really hard for me to, feel bad because, like, hey, now you know what it feels like, buddy. I'm sorry that somebody is doing that. I wish they'd stop. And the other thing is, people in his campaign were calling me a terrorist, and an extremist. And I served in the United States Army. I served in a combat zone twice. I've served on the border for 4 years. I am a disabled veteran. Military service has taken a toll on my body, and I am disabled. I am in constant pain. I take offense at the Bales campaign calling me a terrorist and scaring people and saying I'm on the FBI most wanted list. It's disgusting. I'm not going to put up with that. And this kind of behavior that he's done against me, against Janice Holt, against Emily Kibidoo Cook, it's an embarrassment. We need to stop this. We need to send him back to his ranch so he can continue to do agriculture and stop hurting our community and stop embarrassing our counties. We need change. This is a pivotal election, and there's going to be a lot of big ramifications. This is important not only for our nation, but for our community and our counties right here. We need to change directions. We need to get Ernest Bales out of there and get a champion of the people in. Vote against Ernest Bales. You should vote for me. I've explained why. But if you have any qualms, there's Janice Holt. Whatever you do, we've got to get Ernest Bales under 50%. I don't understand his appeal. I don't understand why people vote for him. It's like, well, he's my neighbor, or I know his mom, and blah, blah, blah. What about his policies, which are destroying our community? We need to put an end to it. So it's time to vote right now. I want you to let people know I feel good about it, and I've gotten some input that I have been performing well, and it's very possible that I could take Bales to runoff or even win outright. I wish I could have done more on this campaign. I don't have the resources of Ernest Bales or Janice Holt, and I've done the best I can. That's all you can do. And looking back, I like I said, I wish I had the opportunity to do more things. This is a good campaign. I feel like I performed well in the debates. I enjoyed interacting with the voters, and I feel like it's been a positive experience. I hope it all pays off with a victory, but that's in the hands of the voters, and that's in the hands of God. So I'm uploading this video in the evening before the election, so you're probably watching this when the polls are open, or maybe afterwards. But in the evening of the election, I'm not going to stay up on pins and needles waiting for the outcomes. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go out and hang out with some friends. And because there's nothing you can do about it. Right now, I've been campaigning, I've been doing the best I can. But tomorrow, when the polls close, it's in the hands of the voters and the hand of God. And so I'm just going to have some me time for a few hours. And we'll find out how it happened or the outcome. For me, I'll find out, I guess, in the morning the next day, and I'll deal with it. If I do win, if it goes to runoff and I'm one of the contenders, that means we got a lot more campaigning to do. If it's Bales and Holt, of course, I'm a better candidate than Holt, but I will support Holt because we got to get Bales out of there, and we will. If he goes to runoff, he's going to be defeated. Most of the time, almost all the time, when someone goes to runoff, that's the end. So that'll be devastating for Ernest if he makes it to runoff, which means he's going to be defeated. I guess the runoff election will be in May, so it gives you more time and better weather instead of the cold and rain to campaign. If I outright win, then I probably should take some time to myself. But I'll be the state representative elect, and we need to get to work. I'm going to start implementing my plan to put an end to the Colony Ridge disaster and fiasco. I'm going to start mobilizing the closing down of Colony Ridge immediately while I am the state representative elect. Plus, there will be a libertarian candidate that's going to be on the ballot in November. So I might have to do some more campaigning throughout the year. So please do your patriotic duty. Go out and vote. Vote against Bales. Vote for me. I'm the best choice. But whatever you do, vote against Bales so that we can save our county, save our state, and save our country. So please do your part. Thank you, and God bless you.
think give him a victory.